Yo, welcome back to another podcast. We are on episode 4. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A on all the Instagram questions that I got on Instagram and just kind of answer it from there. If you guys are new, subscribe, all that good stuff. And uh-oh, I broke it. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe and like the video. Anyway, let's just go through the questions. I didn't know if I wanted to do this video I didn't know if I wanted to do this video during practice, but like whenever I'm at practice, I become like very serious and like I'm just so focused that I can't really think creatively. So I'm just gonna do it in my room, but next time I'm gonna have all these Q&A questions at practice when we're off the court and just answer any questions as I go. So first question from Droman 2011. What shoes do you recommend for volleyball? I mean, personally, I've enjoyed the Way Awades. This is very individualized, right? Like I enjoy the Way Awade 10s, right? That's the shoe I would recommend. Other people don't like the shoe because it's just too thick, it's big, it's expensive, all that good stuff. Mizuno's have also been one of my favorites. I personally enjoyed using the Wave Lightnings. I used that for like 4 to 5 years. And then at some point in time, as I got older, maybe my foot got too big or like I was too sedentary. My feet weren't strong enough to handle that shoe, so I needed something that had more impact protection. So some people would go with any of the Way Awades with any boom foam. I think it was like called the Way Awade Son of Flash. So you guys can check that shoe out. Personally, I have been enjoying the Way Awade brands, but they haven't really created any shoes recently. Based on the making of this video, they haven't made anything recently colorway wise that I've enjoyed. So I'm gonna have to start looking for a new shoe out there. A lot of people like Adidas. It just really depends. Next question. I actually really like this question. It's by Rodriguez 2770. How can I improve on reading the setter as a middle blocker? What should I look for? So this is actually a really solid question. I enjoy, like, the best way you can really work on reading a setter and to give you a slight advantage, especially as a middle, is working on your vision, right? Working on ball setter, ball hitter, meaning after the pass, you're looking at the ball. Then you look at the setter based on where the pass is, okay? Then after the set has been released, you look at the ball very quickly and you look exactly at the hitter, right? Because as soon as they release the ball, you already know it's being set to the outside, op, or middle. Look at the hitter. Look at where they're hitting, look at where their line of approach is, and then go ahead and set up your block. This is also by Rodriguez. What is a good way to train on hitting bounce balls? Great question. I mean, personally, I don't really practice hitting bounce balls. It just kind of comes naturally most of the time. It's just the basic of like, depending on your vert, setter sets you 50-50. You wait till the ball's falling as you go up at the same time, and then just make sure you make contact with the top of the ball. A lot of it is just learning to slow down, right? Most of us as hitters, we get excited to hit really hard, and then we end up hitting deep. But if you're the type of person that wants to bounce a ball and you're just a shorter player or even a taller player, sometimes slowing down is your best friend to let the ball drop a little bit as you're coming up. If you go take a slow approach, then go ahead and take your swing. But the main thing is just making sure you're hitting on top of the ball, right? There's pros and cons to this. If you do hit on top of the ball and you're going for bounce balls, most of the time you got good blockers on the other side. You may get stuff block, right? Unless you have like an open line shot, open seam, open angle. Very hard to accomplish unless you have like a super high vert. So it just depends on the type of player you are. Like for me, I would struggle with that. So my main goal is going for tools and hitting high, hard, and deep. This next question is by Wuri Cho. Sorry if I butchered your name. What's a good way to hit at an oppo in row 1 as an outside hitter? I always seem to hit too much to the left. Now, okay, I see where you're coming from. So if you're taking an approach as an outside hitter, but you're hitting oppo in row 1, you might just be going in at an angle, right? So what I like to do, I like to set myself up right at the perimeter of the line, not outside of the perimeter of the sideline, but inside the sideline. And my approach would be going straight in to where I can hit lines. So instead of going at an angle, right? Most of the time, you're only going to be hitting angle, right? So, and when you do hit the line shot, you're going to have to go thumb down and really like cut the ball. Personally, I just like to give myself that line shot from the first try. So I would just take my approach straight in, and then I can always chop it whenever I want as a right-handed hitter. So hopefully that helps you out, and hopefully that answered your question. That makes it a lot simpler. This question is by Josh. His name. What could I improve on based on games you've seen me play? Again, very individualized, very specific question, right? Like, I don't watch your gameplay all the time, so I wouldn't know any specifics. It's just going back to the basics of like little things become very important in the game of volleyball, like timing, knowing when to do different shots, angling your platform based on the serve. Like, I can't give specifics to each person when I'm not like watching or like coaching, right? So it's very individualized. My biggest recommendation, if you want more like of your own feedback, would be filming yourself, watching how you play, understanding how you play, and making adjustments the next time you play. I've been filming my games for like the past 10 years that I've been playing volleyball, and I've noticed so many tendencies that I do, and I've noticed I've also gotten better, and I've also noticed that there's always something to work on, right? There's something for me to work on. Has my strength gone up? A little bit. So, I mean, volleyball at the end of the day is still volleyball. It's the same technique, it's the same rules, it's the same concepts applied. The only difference when it comes to getting to the next level could be like how strong you are, right? How strong are you in the weight room? Are you doing your Olympic lifts? Are you doing your squats? Are you doing your benching? Are you doing your injury prevention? This person says, can you recruit me to East Valley? No. Mainly because I have no control over that, but I just don't have control over that. Next question. When are you going to host tournaments again? This is from Nina. I will probably, I don't want to say I won't. I honestly just don't know. The fact that life has kind of just been so busy for me, and I'm gaining more responsibilities of moving out, being engaged, compromising, training for USAV, coaching as I have a full-time job, and then coaching in these tournaments and not getting enough rest. And that could be me also complaining, right? But at the end of the day, I really value my health. I really value managing my stress. I value managing my training, because at the end of the day, I really enjoy playing volleyball more than hosting tournaments, more than managing tournaments, right? And I'm okay with that, because I think for me, the goal has always been, let's see how long we can play volleyball for, right? For me, it wasn't really like, hey, let's host tournaments. Like, it was just never a goal. Like, that could be, that's secondary to all my personal goals, right? My goal has always been, let's get better at volleyball, let's get better with our health, let's get better with fitness, and just hosting tournaments and making money off of it for USAV nationals. It just hasn't been a goal of mine right now, but I don't want to say no. In the future, potentially. It's just not the right time yet. How do you fix timing? Timing, that's such a good question, because this is, again, these are very individual questions, and this can also be general questions, right? It's different for every single person, all walks of life, all types of athletes. What I've noticed is just playing more, right? Being able to play in different levels, playing competitively, playing just to relax and for fun, right? Because when you play competitively, you get in this zone of tension. You become more tense. You try harder. You expend more energy than you normally would. And if you were to just go to an open gym and just treat it as having fun with your friends and have a good time, you start to explore more. You can kind of loosen up and explore different types of speeds, different types of tempos, and really like experiment different plays without any consequences, like real consequences. Like if I were playing competitively and I hit a ball out, that's on the stat sheet, right? And that gets me a little tense, because it's like, oh, I got to keep the ball in so my stats are high, or get a kill so that I keep my stats high. But when you're playing for fun, you're being loose, there are no consequences. Like, you're able to try different things and be like, oh, that works. Oh, that's something new I've never done before. That's, if I go at a slower pace, all of a sudden I'm hitting harder. Or if I go slower, I can hit angles that I've never hit before when I was competitive. And then you go into your competitive match. It's like, okay, if I stay relaxed and I know I have more open shots, right? So it just, it's a matter of playing way more. And also when you're playing, like open yourself up to different positions, right? Like I play outside, but there's times where I play middle. Not even just different positions. It's a matter of playing different types of volleyball. Doubles, triples, indoor co-ed, indoor reverse. Like just exploring so many avenues of volleyball, and there's so many different kinds, like 9-man, right? It's just, there's also quads, competitive co-ed quads tournaments. I didn't even know that existed at USAV. That was fun to see, right? Like explore sitting volleyball, right? All of it is gonna open up more movements for you, more learning opportunities for you. And but best of all, if you're able to play against different people year round, you just opened up a whole different world, a whole different set of skills in your world, right? To try and learn. And you get to see different types of volleyball players in different cultures and different areas of the world, and just see how they play and just apply it to your game and see what works best for you. One of the teams that I personally enjoyed watching when I was younger was Japan, right? And this was way before they've gotten their popularity now in 2024, 2023. I've always enjoyed the way they play because I liked seeing how fluid they were on the court. They looked very relaxed. And to me, they also looked very efficient. They weren't wasting energy. They didn't look tired all the time. They would like be so fluid and powerful. And I was like, wait, if I'm relaxed on the court just like them, I can hit as hard as them with so much ball control. I don't know if that's like the actual science to it or how it works, but like just seeing that made me realize like that's the type of player I wanna be like, right? But also I have my own ways of playing, and I gotta respect that and accept that and just use it to my advantage, because there are times where I get really stiff on the court, or like as I get older, I'm a little stiffer. But like, you know, continuing with my mobility, my power snatches, my ollie lifts, all of it, like it still allows me to perform really well on the court and keeping up and maintaining my skill of volleyball. Gabriel says, how can I stop playing so careful and gentle? So if you notice, some people are very soft when it comes to sports, not because they're in nature they are soft, but that's just their play style, right? It could just be finding a switch in your mentality. It could be looking for something that angers you and controlling that anger. One of the books that I've been reading and listening to is Relentless by Tim Grover. And he talks about how everyone has this darkness in them. And it's a matter of how well can you control that darkness to get the best performance possible on the court. This is no different from an anime superhero's moment of, I need to get stronger. They get destroyed by a strong enemy, and they get stronger as an individual, right? They use that as purpose to get stronger, right? Every losing battle is another note to get stronger and just be better than ever. So, I mean, you know, you got to find, that's very individualized. You got to find what's best for you, what works for you. You got to find what is that driving factor for you, right? Because if I hit a ball and I'm gentle about it, there's no way I'm getting points. I literally have to dig deep and figure out what pisses me off on the ball and on the court. So again, different for everybody. How do you get a faster arm swing? I always get this question. This is from Cause What Fizz Cassidy. How do you get a faster arm swing? This is a question I always get. This is there was a video back in the day, it was probably like 20, 30 years ago, of like an Olympic person. They were saying like, oh, just do this with your wrist and like you'll have this whip. And I did that, and I realized I loosened up the ligaments in my joints. Is it ligaments? Ligaments are from bone to muscle, right? No, that's tendon. I loosened up the tendons, and I realized doing that, I loosened up the tendons in my joints, and it was just no bueno. I couldn't hit the ball. It was too laxed, right? I did it so often that it was too laxed. So my best answer for this right now is work on your technique, right? Work on being loose as you swing and find the balance in between to be firm, right? You don't want to be so stiff as a hitter. And you just want to find that middle ground. Like wherever that middle ground is, that's your contact point. And then the faster your arms, to gain more speed with your arm swing, it's going to come down to your training. Like I see it more as like when you're in the weight room, are you doing your Olympic lifts? Are you snatching? Are you doing your clean and jerks? Are you bench pressing, right? Because the snatch and clean and jerk, they're more explosive movements. So that tells your body, hey, we don't need to move slow. We need to move fast. Because if you're moving slow, you're not moving that bar up, right? If you are bench pressing, it's not just bench pressing, right? It's exploding when you're bench pressing, because you're teaching your body to neurologically activate, right? And you don't do that with slow movements. Like slow movements are great for building muscle, building endurance, yada yada. But if you really want to focus on a faster arm swing, it's working on being explosive in the weight room, period. Which open gyms are the most fun and competitive? That's a great question. I haven't found many open gyms in my area, right? Again, this is very individualized based on where you live. You could be at Garden Grove. There's different open gyms. Unfortunately for me, I'm in like the Simi Valley area, which the open gym is not competitive at all. It used to be, and it just depends on the season. Like sometimes when it's summer, when people are in the off season, they'll be coming out to open gym. Other people, they just let go of volleyball as they got older because they have a full-time job, more responsibilities, and volleyball is just not important anymore to them, right? And so you kind of have to explore in your area. For me, I actually just enjoy practicing with people and getting a group of friends, volleyball players together and competing at a high level at a gym. So I can't really give you specifics. I've played in many open gyms like Grace Community Church on Mondays. Back in the day, I played at Maple Park in Glendale. There was a Wednesday one. I forgot. There was the Almanzar Open Gym. There was the McCambridge Open Gym. I mean, honestly, the more you play in these, the better, right? Like, I'm not really an open gym type person anymore, but like I'll go to work on something and work on my technique, and if my friends are going, I'll go, right? But most of the time I'd rather play in like a very competitive league. It's just better competition. People are trying. Again, depending on the area you're in, there are better leagues out there and worse leagues out there. It just depends, but find the one that challenges you the most, and then sign up for tournaments. Don't just play in open gyms, right? Open gyms, you can kind of go and chill, work on your technique, but tournaments are so important because when you play in these tournaments, your body reacts differently. Your adrenaline is high compared to open gym. You're under pressure situation. So you really get to see what you're made of when you play volleyball. And then when you go back to open gym, you start noticing these small differences because you were able to surpass the limit that you were at, right? So if this is your cap when it comes to volleyball, one way to get better is obviously playing at a high level, right? So when you play in these tournaments, you're forced to, let's say you're here, you're forced to try different skills and you're forced to kind of overreach that you start like surpassing that, right? Then you get really sore after the tournament, and then next thing you know, you recover. And then when you go to open gym, all of a sudden you have a new ceiling, right? You have this new ceiling of performance, and the way to get past that ceiling is to play more competitive volleyball, right? Go to bigger tournaments, see what you're made of, play at a higher division just to see what you're made of against them. And then next thing you know, you unlock another cap, another limit of volleyball performance, right? You go back to open gym and you're like, holy crap, I'm getting way better. And then you compile all these tournaments, these experiences that you've experienced, and you're like, I know what to do in every single situation, right? And it's so fun, it's so mind-blowing. And when you view it that way, of like, oh my gosh, I have so much more to learn. I need to know what to do when this happens. I need to know what to do when this happens. It changes the way you view volleyball. And you start to realize like volleyball, majority of it's the same stuff over and over again. Like if your team just can't side out, that's the biggest way to lose. How can you side out faster, right? What is your first ball side out percentage? So anyway, kind of went on a rant there. That's a bigger topic. But again, there's a lot of things in volleyball that you can definitely learn from. Well, that is all the questions I've gotten. If you guys are new or if you guys have any questions, I will put it on Instagram and just ask me a question and I'll do another video like this. Most likely I'll be answering this during practices because it's just a lot easier to film rather than filming at home. So yeah, if you guys are new, subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.